and go now. The spaces between us will grow and fall now. These places I've been to and more. So I'll stay here lost. I'm not enough. I'm still waiting, I know it's wasting time. Since you're running away, I've been calling for days for you to think of a way not to call it a break or you. Waiting for a change, this goes out blue. Hope it's not too late to see this through.
We're vlogging now. Yes. This is the travel tanks.
Hello Bingo friends, welcome back. I'm Marga.
And I'm Angela. It is our first time to travel to Sydney.
And we hope you can join us. If you love traveling, Australia or specifically Sydney is surely on the list of the top must-visit destination. However, as you might be aware, Sydney, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world, can deter you from getting the most of this lovely city. First, come up with a plan. Traveling spontaneously is great, but if you're traveling on a budget, the first thing to do is come up with a plan. Do your research, let your days unfold naturally, schedule 2 or 3 things, and let the day fit in the rest of its own. Letting the day just take you is one of the best ways to travel. Know the routes that your epic adventure will take.
Second, book flights in advance. And the closer you get to your departure date, the more the prices increase.
Special thanks to the Travel Couch Agency for assisting us to book the cheapest flight to Sydney for only 21,000 pesos for 4 persons. What a great deal!
Third, set a travel budget. Booking travel without any set budget in mind can be dangerous, but you could end up overspending without realizing it. We use Klook app to book as we discover the best travel activities, amazing tourist attractions, and local experience around the city.
Fourth, stay in cheap accommodation. Accommodation is usually the biggest day-to-day cost of any traveler's expenses. Look for hotel alternatives. You can slash costs simply by exploring non-traditional accommodations such as hostels and Airbnb. Hostel staff deal with budget travelers all day. Every day, they know exactly where to go for cheap meals and attractions. They also tend to be locals, so they know the city very well. Ask them for all sorts of information. Shop at the markets. Avoid dining out. Local markets are great and usually very cheap. If your accommodation has a kitchen, you can buy all your meat and vegetables from the markets to cook yourself. Take advantage of complimentary breakfast to get as much food as possible. Save some for snacks later. Bring a water bottle. Paying for water adds up quickly, and that money can get you another night in the hostel. 6. Use public transport. If the locals do it, why shouldn't you? This can be one of the biggest fears for first-time travelers to Sydney. 99% of the time, the local bus or train is great with the use of Opal card. Not only they are really cheap compared to taxis or tourist buses, but they can be very entertaining. Download Google Maps or Opal app to help you familiarize how to get around the city. Lastly, enjoy travel life. If travel is something you and your family love to do, there's always a challenge when your budget bites back. However, by adjusting your priorities, being willing to compromise, and rethinking what it means to travel, you might be able to find a room in your finances. Captain Cook Cruises, a must-do experience for every visitor to Sydney. Discover the most beautiful harbour in the world on a sightseeing cruise that takes you leisurely into the most beautiful and fascinating coves of Sydney Harbour with commentary. The Hop-on Hop-off Harbour Explore Pass is the easiest way for visitors to explore Sydney. These red rocket ferries crisscross the harbour throughout the day, traveling between 11 famous stops including Circular Quay, Darling Harbour, Manly, Taronga Zoo, and Watson's Bay. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is a heritage-listed steel, through-arc bridge across Sydney Harbour that carries rail, vehicles, bicycle, and pedestrian traffic between the Sydney Central Business District and the North Shore. Opened in 1932, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is a world-renowned symbol of Australia. The historic tales of construction still fascinates locals and people from all over the world. Positioned across Sydney's breathtaking natural harbour, the bridge has become one of the most photographed features of Sydney.